What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Round 4 Showdown show here for the Byron Nelson. Joined here with my guy, Drew. We're going to break this down. We're going to go down the leaderboard here and find some winners for us. Talk about which guys we will attack near the top of the leaderboard, which guys we're going to fade, and so on. But, Drew, how's your week-long teams looking? You got any sweats heading in tomorrow? How's your Showdown been going? And, what's going on?
Yeah, no sweats as of yet, but the full week teams are slowly climbing. So in single entry, I snuck in a 6-6 thanks to Tom Kim, and the cut moving back to -4, and it was slowly moving up today. It was min cashing for a minute, and I think it's just outside the cash line, but it looks pretty solid probably to cash. So yeah, like I talked about on Wednesday, I faded Scheffler and tried to kind of go. It's not really balanced, but definitely tried to go down the mid-range, the guys I thought had the best top 10 upside. And, Jaeger played pretty good today. Zayden played pretty good. Cage, Lee, I'm still waiting for a low round. We'll probably talk about him tonight. And, just kind of hanging in there. But, 6-6 can't hurt in single entry. I don't know what it is, but I assume it's got to be sub 20%. But, no sweats yet.
Around like 10% even.
10%? Yeah, I mean, that's even better. So, I saw guys above me that had 4 or 6 as of last night, and I figured with the honestly, man, I really thought the low scoring would be a bit more low. I forget the quote. Was it from Dumb and Dumber? I thought the Rocky Mountains would be a little rockier than this. I thought a 26 under par winning score tournament would be a little bit lower than what I'm seeing from my guys, but it is what it is. Hopefully, Will Gordon can turn it around tomorrow. I got him pretty low owned. And Jimmy Walker as well. I know he was a Showdown candidate today. Didn't go so hot, but he was a full week guy, so maybe Sunday's the day for him. But, it looks like a jam-packed leaderboard. A lot of things can happen. Obviously, Scheffler probably swings a lot of money, to be honest, being like 50% owned. So it really – I think two things unfold for me and probably a lot of our subs is if Scheffler wins, that kind of dictates a lot of where the cash line moves. And if he doesn't win, it's really a matter of like how much low scoring we can get from the cheap guys that are kind of lagging behind. So, I foresee some low scores. I haven't checked the weather, but I didn't hear anything earlier. So I'm just hoping we can get some low fireworks going.
Yeah, for sure. I've got some teams that are creeping up as well. I think I only built 5 teams this week. 4 of them are looking pretty solid, though. I need Scheffler myself to win. I've got him on every team, and I was actually shocked to see when the cards flipped over on Thursday, he was under 40% in like the large field tournaments, which really surprised me. I haven't talked to you since then. Were you surprised at that? I figured he would have been, 50 to 60% owned this week.
In the large field, though, I could see it being lower just because I think Optimal's having a tough time getting his projection in at 12K. So I could see that. In single entry, I've seen him. He was around 50%, I think, in some of them. So, I could see. I just theoretically, I think guys, when they do the big fields, they're using an optimizer to some degree, so they're probably plugging in some type of projections, and it's going to be too smart. It's not going to jam in a Scottie Scheffler at 12K. So, you obviously, if you went all in on Scheffler, you have a lot of leverage. I thought it would be a little bit more volatile, and it hasn't been that way. Like he could easily be running away with this thing, and he's not. So. It's an interesting dynamic, I guess, but it's a jam-packed leaderboard. What do we got? 20 guys, 15 guys within 5 shots of the lead. So, and someone could shoot 62 tomorrow. So we'll see. We'll see how it breaks down. But,
I definitely think that's in the mix tomorrow. A low round will be out there from somebody. Like we saw some 7s and 8s shot today. I definitely think we'll see some of that tomorrow.
It's just so weird to see like +2s. And you see -7s. Like, it's just bizarre to me. -8 from Carson Young, +2 from Mackenzie Hughes, and I think someone else, Will Gordon, I think, was +1 or +2. So, like,
and you see Scottie shoot even.
And Scottie shoots even, which probably was like 78, So, it's weird. I haven't watched a lot of coverage. I was watching some MMA earlier, and I'm kind of gearing up for next week. But, I don't know. Anything can happen tomorrow. I think it's a pretty strong leaderboard, all things considered. With the weaker field, you got Jason Day up there. Siwoo, I'll consider a top guy. Scheffler, then Hatton. So I think all in all, it's a pretty good leaderboard, and a lot of things can happen, and we likely could see someone come from way back and shoot, a really low score to clinch this thing.
Yeah, for sure. If you're just joining us, please hit the like and subscribe. It really helps us bring this content to you guys free of charge and everything. And then head on over to Run Pure Sports. Join the movement over there. I'm going to have the Showdown playbook up here. It's almost finished, just about completed there. It's going to have 3 tiers there, an expensive tier, a mid tier, and a cheap tier. Going to have players in their descriptions from them, the golfer notes, the golfer, the price, the score, everything's going to be up there. And then a slate strategy will be at the bottom, accompanied by 4 core plays at the top from 4 different people. We'll have core plays for that. So head on over, use that promo code Snyder15, join the movement, 20% or 15% off. It includes SaberSim as well. Maybe we'll get the 20% here one of these days, but 15% right now, Snyder15. So join the movement. Let's dive into just these top 3 guys here. Are you playing any of them? Personally, I'm going to fade all 3 of these guys. Any thoughts from you on the top 3 at -16?
Yeah, I'll probably fade all of them. Palmer, I've been watching. Like I could kind of see Palmer win this thing. He's playing pretty good and kind of I can't remember why, but he popped up for me earlier in the week, and I think I just brushed it off as like he hasn't done anything. But the Texas narrative held pretty true. I think the strategy is just to fade these top 3 guys, but I'm looking at Palmer. Like I think Palmer might be the guy I lean into if I'm going to play anybody up here. Across the board, he's been pretty consistent, but I don't have any interest. And honestly, I don't really care to jump on a guy that shot -7 or -8, which both Marty Dow and Ekro did. So I think fading this top is fine.
Yeah, they're cheap enough. I hope they gain a lot of ownership there too, as a lot of people just love to jam the top of that leaderboard. You can fit those guys in there pretty easily, but I'll be fading those 3 guys. We can dive into
well, and I'll just say really quick too, because I think the concept of like the scoring matters a lot. Is like if it's -16, right, and like if you guys are going to go out and shoot -6, -7, the placement points don't matter as much. Like if this was the U.S. Open and they were, let's just say they're -3 leading, like they're much more in consideration because maybe they shoot +2 and still finish in the top 3 or top 5. So
I completely agree.
The scoring matters a lot. The guys are going to make a lot of birdies. Birdies are what, 2 points almost. So like they're going to rack up the scoring from a birdie perspective. I'm not concerned with them just like in the top 5. Like I want the guys that are I just want the 6 guys that are going to shoot -7. So that's kind of where I stand. I think Palmer's in play, but outside of that, I'm not interested in saving salary on Marty Dow or Ekro.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll be fading those guys. I think I'm also going to fade Day. I think I'm just going to go all in on Scottie again. Now we can dive into these -14s and 13 guys here. I am going to go back to my guy, Vincent Norman, though. I've been on him all week long. He was a soldier. Hopefully we can get another top 10 out of one of these soldiers. So looking forward to him at 7-6. I'd rather play him over those other guys up near the top. And then Scottie, I'm just going to roll right back into him again tomorrow at 12-5. Hopefully he doesn't get that much ownership. He lost nearly 2 strokes putting today. I mean, the putter just completely left him today again. He made a couple putts, but nothing really that good today. So I hope Scottie can get it going. This is a hometown course for him. Home game for him. I think he's going to come out and do something for these hometown fans and win this event. So I still like Scottie. What's sticking out to you here, 14 and 13 from these guys?
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think the day to ride Scottie is tomorrow. He's super expensive. I got him at 12-5 on the main Showdown slate for tomorrow. For like the late Showdown captain, he'd be tough to jam in there, but as a captain, but like he's definitely worth playing in all formats. I think if anybody's going to be a spend up or even a lock, like Scottie's the one guy that could go super low, and also he's just going to find a way to win this tournament. So yeah, I'm with you. I think Scottie Scheffler's the guy. He lost over a stroke putting on just his back 9 today. So I think he's got a little bit of momentum or like an eagerness to get back out there and get hot to start off Sunday. I don't really have a ton of interest with the other guys. Day's too expensive, I think, for me to get to. I mean, he's been playing really well, so I wouldn't hate anyone if they want to play him. Vincent Norman's totally fine. No issues with Vincent Norman. And then Siwoo's probably like the worst guy of the bunch for me. Hasn't really been doing it much from a ball striking standpoint. He's only gained on 51% of his approaches. Only 51% have been positive. So really kind of eking his way through. To be fair, Norman has only gained on 56%, but his driver is carrying him. So again, I think it's a pros and cons there. Like if you're driving it down there, then I'm a little bit more lenient if you're not gaining as many strokes on approach, because you're probably still got a lot of birdie opportunities. So I think Scheffler's the guy. And then Vincent Norman, to your point, is still really cheap. Like at 7,600, I think that's a perfect fit. You could probably just play 2 14 guys and of Scheffler and Norman be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I like that route there. Just play those two, and then I'll be looking for some guys a little lower to kind of catch those guys. I think there's some big numbers out there, and there's a lot of upside, I think, down there. So, yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm probably not going to get the Terrell Hatton. Hopefully he gets some ownership. He was just absolutely lights out with the putter today and didn't even gain with the approach and still shot 6 under. So I think there's some regression coming for him. Down here in like these -12s and -11s, there's some guys. I really like Carson Young as a value tomorrow. I was on him on the main slate. Hopefully he can keep it rolling there. I like the birdie upside he brings. Was +2 with the approach, +2 with the putter today. So it was a real strong 8 under bogey free round from him. I think he's a guy I would look to run back possibly, even though he shot really well today. I'll run him right back. CT Pan is a guy I like for upside. Lost over 2 strokes putting today, but I like his birdie upside he brings as a cheap value to mix in. And then James Hahn's another guy I'll mix in. He was just absolutely dialed in off the tee and with the irons today. The whole ball striking was dialed in, but the short game was pretty bad for him, losing about 2 strokes with the short game today. What's sticking out to you here, -12, -11 range?
So I will say on James Hahn, like I've been paying attention. He does do very good with his irons every single week, but he never capitalized on it. So I would just be cautious not to get drawn in too hard with James Hahn, because that's just kind of his deal. Like I don't know why. Another guy that did that last year was Scott Gucheski, who just won on the Korn Ferry Tour. The dude would gain like 3 strokes on approach every tournament at a minimum, and still would miss cuts some weeks. Like it's brutal. So. The guy that really stands out to me, and I forgot to kind of jump into the 13 range, but like Patton Kizzire is a guy playing extremely, extremely well tee to green. He has gained on 71% of his tee shots and 73% of his approach shots. Positive strokes gained on 73%. He's got a ton of birdie looks. He's got 15 inside of 18 feet. He's only made 4 of them on the par 4s and par 3s, and he's playing the par 5s at 6 under. So I think Kizzire, from a ball striking standpoint, is the guy at 7,300 that I'll probably have a definitely an overweight stance on due to his price and how well he's been hitting it. I know Sung Kang popped up in the chat today for Showdown. He looks pretty good across the board, to be honest. I know he's gaining strokes putting, but at 6,100, man, he's got a lot of birdie looks. I think he's got 15 inside of 18 feet, same as Patton Kizzire. So I don't hate Kang at 6,100. I mean, if you're going to play Scottie, you probably want to get aggressive somewhere else, and maybe Kang is the guy that you punt off. He'll probably be too owned for where he would normally be, but at 6,100, man, he's 1,000 too cheap, especially where he's placed at. So some Kang and Kizzire up there. As we go down, I think Sam Stevens has been playing super well. I don't mind chasing that a bit. The guy has a lot of motivation. He has not made anything. He's 1 of 9 inside of 12 feet. And give me some Sam Stevens.
He had a clean card today, even losing 2 strokes putting.
He's playing really well tee to green. Really, really well. 74% positive off the tee, 60% positive on approach. So very consistent and one of the longer guys. He's 10 yards over the field in driving distance, 13% over the field in greens and regulation. So he's beating the field basically tee to green. He just cannot putt. He's losing about 1/10 of a stroke putting on every single hole, which is pretty bad. So Sam Stevens is the guy down here at -11 that kind of stands out. James Hahn stands out, but I think it'd be, I don't know what his popularity would be, but I just don't want to go there. I've been down this road before and I don't love it. And that's really pretty much it down here. I mean, the other guys I just don't see as low.
There was a question in chat about Bramlett. Do you have any thoughts on him?
He really hasn't been playing well into some of these greens relative to the other guys. So surprisingly enough, his putter has picked up, but he's just not hitting it close. He's over the field in greens and regulation, but I mean, he's only got 12 shots inside of 18 feet, which isn't terrible, but he's made 9 of them. Like, the dude is kind of capped out on his ceiling at the moment. I don't really care to chase Bramlett. And at 8,100, it's not really a value in my opinion. So not really thrilled to play Joseph Bramlett tomorrow.
Right on there. Yeah, I like those takes as well. I do like Sam Stevens there. I think he's the guy I'm going to be moving up my playbook for tomorrow. I like the price tag. I think it'll keep his ownership down, being priced at 8,600. And if he can just get some of those putts to convert, I like the upside he brings there as well. So we can dive down into this We can dive down into this -10 to -9 range. I mean, this is a pretty big range. There's probably 20 golfers here. I mean, we can just kind of talk some of the guys we like. I kind of like Taylor Montgomery still. I was on him in some tournaments. He finally hit the irons pretty good today, gained approach, and he actually didn't make as many putts as he usually does. So I like the upside on Montgomery there tomorrow. He was break even off the tee, but the irons actually were good for him today. If he can do that tomorrow, I think he can capitalize on some putts. I think he'll be really low owned too at 8,800 -10, so I like some of that. Doug Gim's another guy I like. I'll look to. And then there was one more down here that I was looking into. I kind of like Matt Kuchar a little bit for tournaments, 9,200. He's one of those guys that's I think he could sell out to try and move up that pay scale. I mean, you know how tight he is with that. So I think he's one of those guys that'll be grinding out maybe a 4 or 5 under round, inch up a couple $100 more. But what do you like in here, -9, -10 range?
Yeah, I think Bezaden, who's the guy that I'm going to go to. Played well today. I have a full week exposure, but I just like him. I think he had a top 5 here last year, right? Something like that. Top 10, top 5. So obviously likes the golf course and is in pretty good form coming into the final round tomorrow. So playing pretty well. He's definitely gained strokes putting, but I'm not worried about it. The problem with his strokes gained off the tee, so like his strokes gained off the tee number is negative, but he's just not the longest guy. So like on a course like this where guys are just pounding driver, he's going to be less than the field average pretty much on every single par 4 and par 5. So it's going to negate his off the tee numbers. But he's gaining on 64% of his approaches. He's putting decent, and he's got a lot of birdie opportunities. So despite his driving distance issues, he's got 10 shots inside of 12 feet, 15 shots inside of 18 feet on the par 4s and par 3s. So I like Bezaden quite a bit. Doug Gim, I like a lot. I mean, the dude looks really solid across the board. I'm not sure I could say one bad thing about him from what I can tell. Yeah, really, really consistent in every single category.
Deal, I just pulled up his box score. All that was on 3 holes too. 11, 12, and 14 are like the only 3 holes he lost strokes off the tee today. So that's kind of interesting. Okay. And then, so I like that call
interesting,
as well. Yeah.
No, I mean, he's so consistent. He's not expensive, man. Like at 9,500, I would give it a second look. But at 8,500, I mean, look at the other guys above him. Like Stefan Jaeger's 8,900. I forget who we just talked about. It was like 81 or 8,300. Like there's a lot of guys that are up here that I don't. I mean, Sam Stevens is 8,600 for crying out loud. Bezaden, who started the week off $1,500 more than him. So I really do like Bezaden. I think the floor is really good. I think the ceiling is still there to shoot -7 on this golf course. As well as he's been striking his irons. Chris Stroud looks interesting. Again, not the best driving distance numbers, but decent on some of the approach numbers that I'm looking at least. Like decent number inside of 12 feet, okay inside of 18 feet. He wouldn't be like a priority. I think Kang would be my cheap guy, but I do think he's worth consideration. Mentioned Doug Gim, yes. And Cameron Champ is the other guy. I don't mind going to a guy like Cameron Champ who's just so volatile that a course like this tomorrow, he could really, play super aggressive and go low. It's still gettable on the par fives, and he's really underperforming. Like, of all the holes, he's gone for 8 par fives and 2, and he's only 3 under par for the par fives. You compare that to Vincent Norman, he's gone for 9 of them in 2, and he's 9 under. So, like, he's really got a 6-shot spread there on just the par fives, and Cameron Champ's probably the second longest guy in the field, maybe the longest guy in the field. So I think Cameron Champ's an interesting GPP play tomorrow.
Yeah, I was gonna bring up a Champ there. I always like looking at him for tournaments and such. Such a long off the tee. He's got some elite birdie upside, I think. So
he's just probably just a really good, this year at least, the last 2 years, maybe a really good showdown candidate. Too. Well, he's just terrible for classic. Like, you can never count on him to make a cut, but when he does make a cut, he'll finish top 10. So like the showdown stuff is kind of like a wait and see. And if you can get a little bit of exposure here and there, you'll feel like you're winning, even though he may pop a top 10. Like, play him in showdown. He finishes top 5 and he shoots 9 under par tomorrow. You'll feel just as good as if you played him in your main lineup. So he's just so volatile. I just can't click him on a Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. He'll miss what was that last year? He had like 6 or 7 missed cuts in a row and then pops off and wins at 3M or something like that.
It's just pretty wild. Yeah.
But I think we're pretty much in lockstep there on the 9 and 10 under range, guys. We can dive in. I don't really like diving too deep in round 4, but down here, -8, -7. There's some guys down here like Nate Lashley. He was a guy I was on the main slide. He was a soldier. He's doing all right. I think he's a guy that can maybe backdoor like a top 20 or 15 or something. Looking at Brandon Wu, I like his birdie upside he brings to the table. He's fine. Bryce Garnett's got good birdie upside for 6,700. He's a guy I would look at there. Tom Kim right there. I mean, he's going to be super, super low owned. I mean, he's a guy that can go out there and shoot a low number tomorrow and help you get very different tomorrow as well with a salary there. And then your guy KH Leach right there, you can hit on him at 9,300. He's also going to be very low owned tomorrow. What are you looking at here? -8, -7 then.
Yeah, I'll talk about KH Lee here in a second. He's expensive, but again, I've been invested enough this week, and I'll show you a couple numbers that I think are really interesting. But I actually, with the scoring being as low as it can be on this golf course, I really don't hate going down this far. Like, they're still not realistically going to crack a top 10, but they could still shoot. Like, one of these guys could still shoot -8, and obviously I want to have exposure to a few. So I probably got about 5 guys that are 8 under or worse, which I can talk through. But in the 8K range, Tom Hoagie is a really good one. Obviously, one of the best players in the field in general or overall. And at 8 under, he's got a lot of shots inside of 18 feet. He's 11 of 18. So leaving a little bit out there. And the par 5s, I think he's only 4 under on the par 5. So again, kind of underperforming. And he's actually hitting, even though his approach numbers are negative, his strokes gained approach is negative or close to 0, I think. He's hitting a lot close. So the birdie opportunities are there. He just has to make some. Augusto Nunez is another guy. He's hitting it really close, not making a ton. He's 5 of 18 inside of 18 feet. Mecaluzzi, I don't mind going back to, and Doc Redman there. And those are a couple guys in the -8s. I really don't have anybody at -7. There's nobody here. And then I have a couple guys at -5 and -6 I can talk about real quick if you want me to just hit on them real fast. Then I'll go back to KH Lee because
you can do that.
There's still a couple. Yeah, so Andrew Novak is the big one down here. Andrew Novak is honestly gaining on 61% of his approaches. He's beating the field on greens and regulation. He's got 18 shots inside of 18 feet, and he's playing the par 5s at -4. So he's gone for 9 of them in 2. Like, he's gone for 9 par 5s in 2, and he's only 4 under par. That's not very good for three days on this golf course. So I could see a little bit of regression there. And at 6,800, again, a good salary saving spot. Let me hop back up to KH Lee really quick before I forget. So KH Lee's expensive. He's $9,300. He was a popular play to start the week off. He played really well last week at the Wells Fargo, and his ball striking has continued. He's gained on 74% of his tee shots. He's positive on 71% of his approaches. He has made one putt inside of 18 feet for birdie on the par fours and par threes, and he's got 11 shots inside that distance. Like, the dude has made absolutely nothing. As far as par five scoring, he's actually been really good. He's 8 under, so that's the only thing holding him in there. But as far as like the regression, I could see him shooting 6 under on the par fours and continue the par fives. I should say 5 under on the par fours, continuing the par five performance, and shoot a nice like 7 or 8 under par. So I'm going to keep going back to Cage Lee. I mean, the strokes gain numbers look fine, but I think the underlying stats is that like the dude has had a lot of opportunities and he's made nothing. So give me some Cage Lee tomorrow. Just one last shot at it. The dude's ball striking looks good, and just please just make a couple putts inside of 12 feet.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think the upside is definitely there. We've seen in the last 2 years, so that's definitely right there.
I mean, I think he shot like 61 last year to win this thing.
I thought he had a low number there.
Yeah, I'll pull it up really quick. I'm pretty sure it was 63. Sorry, 63. Okay. But there were plenty of low scores. Xander shot 61. Hideki shot 62 last year on Sunday. Just a ton of low rounds. Interestingly enough, Joaquin Niemann shot 74, so that's bizarre. Guy shoots 62 and Niemann shoots 74. But yeah, there's plenty of low scores, assuming conditions stay pretty mild. And he's obviously got really good history here, playing with good form coming into from last week. I can't miss out on a Cage Lee -8 number at this point in the proceedings.
Definitely,
I'd be kicking myself so bad.
Yeah. For sure. I like that Andrew Novak call. I played him on one of my teams. Hopefully he can get it going tomorrow. I like that under 7K option there for that. But I think we pretty much broke this down pretty good for everybody there. About 30 minutes in. We can close this out by let's give them a core here for the people here. Let's each throw 2 guys out there. You can go first. So we'll do like a little 4-man core here for the people.
All right. I see Kurt in the YouTube chat. I don't know if he's in the Discord chat. But if you are watching, you're not an RPS sub, you need to get into the Discord chat by subbing, because that's where the magic happens. But yeah, let's see. I want to start the core with, who was the guy? I mean, I guess, is it even fair to say? I mean, Scottie Scheffler.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's the guy we need to definitely have in there tomorrow. So
I mean, he's definitely a core play. So
yeah,
I'll take the free square. I'm sorry, I'll take the free square and say
good.
Scottie Scheffler.
I'm gonna go with that upside play we talked about. Both you brought it up, and I liked it as well. I was gonna talk him up. So let's put in Cameron Champ there at 9 under or 7,100. That kind of opens some things up with Scottie in there.
Okay, yeah, I like it. The next guy that I think you're on him and I'm on him just because we talked about him, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Sam Stevens at the price, 11 under, in a good spot to shoot another low round and for placement points for as little as they're worth. I think Sam Stevens at 11 under is the next core that I would throw in there. A lot of upside, I think.
I like that. I'm just going to round it out with the soldier there then. Vincent Norman, hopefully he can make a push. If Scottie doesn't win, hopefully my guy Norman can somehow pull this out. So that'll leave a good amount of salary too for you to go whichever way you want with those last 2 guys. It should, I think it should give you around 8K or so for sure for those last 2 guys.
Tony won't quit on this. Getting some type of matchup.
Tony doesn't want the smoke from Drew, I don't think.
I saw you had some giblets today, so I might have to dig into the pocket of Big T in the knee house.
There you go. Take Mangone, take Rubio, take them all.
I'll take them all.
Yeah.
Be the happiest little boys ever.
Yeah. Definitely. We need to get out there. I think Big T and Uncle T are coming to Nebraska sometime. You might as well make some plans to come down and play at a Firethorn with us if you can make it work this summer. Get a little game going or something. But I think that pretty much covers everything this week. We broke it down from the leaderboard top to bottom there. If you haven't already, please hit the like and subscribe. It really helps bring us this show to you guys free of charge. Head on over to Run Pure Sports. Use that promo code Snyder15 for 15% off. It even includes Saber Sim. We'll be in Discord all night answering questions. So make sure to get in Discord if you do join. That, like Drew said, that's where all the magic happens. We're in there all the time answering questions for all sports, one price. So that's going to do it for us tonight. We appreciate you guys watching, and always run pure. For Drew, for Snyder, we're out of here.